Hi there, my name's Callum, this is Finley, and we're here to help you reach your Pokemon card collecting goals.
We also like collecting. We saw Deep Pocket Monsters challenge and we would also like to do it.
So Deep Pocket Monster, he had this massive binder, right, that had like 1,025 Pokemon in it, and we thought, man, that looks like so much fun. We want to try and collect all 1,025 Pokemon as well. From Bulbasaur to Petron, we want to catch them all.
To start collecting, we need a binder, and Deep Pocket Monster had Chad.
So Chad was this like giant binder, right? It was like huge, custom made by Voltex with like 64 cards on a page, right?
Yeah.
So we can't do that. We're not fancy enough to have a custom made Voltex binder. So instead, we've picked up 3 binders. Each binder's got 360 cards, right?
Yeah.
And so we need to fit in 3 of these binders. That gives us 1,080 slots. Plenty to fit 1,025, maybe even a few more for the next generation. Although we'll probably have to get another binder then. 1,025 Pokemon is a lot, so we had to figure out how we would know where each Pokemon went, right?
Yeah.
I know at the start of Deep Pocket Monsters Challenge, he really got stuck and he went generation by generation. We're not going to do generation by generation. We're going to do just what we've got and then collect a bit as we go. It's going to take a long time to get 1,025 cards. So we've made placeholder cards for each slot.
We got lots of images off of Bulbapedia, we printed them and then cut them out.
Now that was 1,025 Pokemon, 12 Pokemon per sheet. It was something like 80 something sheets of paper that we had to cut out. We had to cut them out neatly, one by one. We slot them in the binders. Finley did a lot, I did a lot. We eventually got all 1,025 spots in the binders full. So we now have 3 binders ready to go with 1,025 slots ready for 1,025 different Pokemon cards.
But Dad, we don't want to look through the binders every time we get a new card.
No, you're right, Finley. It would take so long if every time we got a new card, we had to check in the binders to see if we already had that card, especially in a few months from now when we forget what we've already put in the binders. So, what we've done, we've made a tracking sheet, right? It's like a spreadsheet. Deep Pocket Monster inspired us with this. He's got a Google tracking sheet. We've used numbers, and it's got the names of the Pokemon, it's got the number of the Pokemon, like each Pokedex number, as well as an image, and it all goes through to a master file so we can see what % of each generation we've caught, and we can keep up to date and keep up to track with that. So we'll know exactly which card we've got. So if we find a card, we can quickly check the sheet and see if we've got that card. So rules. What rules are we going to have? Again, going back to Deep Pocket Monsters one, he tried to get the best of every card, right?
Yeah.
We don't have deep pockets like him. Just trying to collect 1,025 cards is going to be challenging enough. So we can use any card, right?
Yeah.
They can be from our sets. They can be from sets we've pulled. If we pulled cards for the channel, it can be from the leftover cards from that. We could get cards from anywhere. Really, we're just looking for one of each Pokemon. Now, we're not looking for, shinies. If there's a regional variant like Alolan Raichu, we're just looking to fill the Pokedex. Alolan Raichu and Raichu have the same Pokedex number. So as long as we get one of those cards, it's all fine. We're not looking for different variants. We're just looking for one of each Pokedex number to fill the 3 binders with 1,025 different Pokemon. You on?
Yes.
We're going to start this first episode of the series by using cards from Finley's collection. So Finley, you've pulled out a whole bunch of cards and we're going to go through generation by generation and put the cards in the binder. Where should we start?
Gen 1.
Gen 1 sounds like a good place to start.
Here are the cards from Gen 1. We don't really have much, but it's a start. We've got Zubat, Persian, Magneton, Onix, Horsey, Seadra, Eevee, and Porygon.
As you said, not a huge amount. That's a start. On to Gen 2. Okay, this Gen 2 stack is a bit thicker. You've got a lot more Gen 2 cards than Gen 1. Let's see what we've got. Crobat, Togepi, Natu, Xatu, Aipom, Gligar, Steelix, Sneasel, Slugma, Remoraid, Octillery, Houndour, Houndoom, Kingdra, Porygon 2, Smoochum, Elekid, Magby, Miltank, and Larvitar. That's a pretty good set from Gen 2. Next gen?
We've got a bit less from Gen 3, but it's still quite a lot. So there's Zigzagoon, Surskit, Masquerain, Whimsir, Loudred, Exploud, Mawile, Plusle, Spinder, Swablu, Corphish, Phoebus, Milotic, Duskull, Dusclops, Absol, Snorunt, Latios, and Jirachi. Oh, and also Registeel.
Very cool. Let's go on to Gen 4. Now to Hisui, with all the Pokemon you might have seen in Legends Arceus. We've got a few here. Combee, Glameow, Gibble, Toxicroak, Mantike, Weavile, Glaceon, Gliscor, Dusknoir, Uxie, and Cresselia. That's all from Hisui.
Next up is Gen 5, and we've got a lot.
Wow, that's a big stack. Tell us what we've got, Finley.
We've got Victini, Purloin, Liepard, Pansage, Sinsage, Pansear, Sinsir, Panpour, Simpor, Blitzle, Zebstrika, Drillbur, Dwebble, Crustle, Yamask, Trubbish, Zora, Zoroark, Vanillite, Vanillish, Joltik, Galvantula, Ferroseed, Ferrothorn, Axu, Fracture, Haxorus, Craigonal, Stunkfish, Mainfu, Mainshao, Durant, Zekrom, and Kurum. That is a lot of cards.
That is a lot of cards. We've got a good start there on Generation 5. But it's the biggest generation, right? Over 150 cards, more than Generation 1.
Yeah.
So Gen 6 is the smallest generation, but we've got a fair number of cards from this, so hopefully it'll be a good start. Bunnelby, Fletchling, Talonflame, Furfrou, Honedge, Doublade, Swirlix, Inkay, Malamar, Leoctile, Sylveon, Phantump, Pumpkaboo, Gurgeist, Yveltal, Volcanion. That's the end of Gen 6. Now we're off to Alola. Now, as I said, there are a lot of regional variants, but they don't count in Alolan sets because they're already counted in Gen 1, Gen 2 sets. So let's see what we've got from Gen 7.
We've only got 9 cards here, but I'm still going to read them out. There's Rowlet, Dartrix, Decidueye, Oricorio, Stuffle, Bounsweet, Steenie, Wimpod, and Minior. That's not too much, but again, it's a start.
Yeah, you're right. So apart from Gen 1 Kanto Pokemon, we probably know Gen 8 and Gen 9 the best, being Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet on the Switch. So we don't have many from Sword and Shield, but we know these well. Grookey, Blipbug, Dottler, Orbeetle, Nickit, Applin, Toxel, Sizzlipede, Sinistea, Phalanx, Morpeko, Cufant, Copperaja, Eternatus, and Ursaluna. Now that's the end of Gen 8. We're going to head from Galar to the final generation, Paldea.
We've got heaps of Pokemon from Paldea.
Which, I mean, makes sense. Like, all of our sets that we've opened so far, that you and I are collecting, are all from Generation 9, from Scarlet and Violet sets. So, of course, we're going to have heaps from Paldea.
Yeah. So we've got Fuecoco, Crocodile, Lechonk, Nimble, Lowkicks, Tandymouse, Knackley, Knacklestack, Garganacl, Charcadet, Tadbulb, Bellibolt, Kilowattrel, Toedscool, Clorf, Flittle, Espathra, Tinkertink, Tinkertuff, Tinkerton, Wiglet, Varoom, Cyclizar, Orthworm, Flamigo, Veluza, Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Screamtail, Slitherwing, Iron Bundle, Iron Jugulus, Iron Moth, Gimmighoul, Wo-Chen, Chen-Pao, Ting-Lu, Chi-Yu, Dipplin, Okidogi, and Iron Crown.
That's the end of our Gen 9 cards. That's a total of 175 out of the 1025. Project 1025 is off to a great start, Finley, and that's just your cards.
Yeah.
We haven't gone through any of my cards yet. We haven't gone through any of the bulk that we've pulled on the channel. We can do some of that next time. We've got 17% of the full 1025. Project 1025 is off to a great start. We've only got 5% of Gen 1, making me a bit nervous. That's an old set, so it might be harder to collect. But we've got 35% of Gen 9, so that's a really great start there. We haven't been through my cards, we haven't been through any of the bulks. We get to do that next time, right? So that's a great start.
YouTube thinks you'll like this video covering Callum's face.
And I guess we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.